Welcome everybody, welcome back to my studio. My name is Manny from Lost in a Memory, and today I have a very exciting and fun and educational but awesome video for you guys. I'm gonna be breaking down how I completely covered the song Thanks for the Memories by Fall Out Boy. I pretty much recreated it. I tried to get as close to the original sound as humanly possible, as close as I could. So I'm gonna be showing you all my crazy production tricks. And without further ado, let's get right into it. First of all, real quick, I'm going to be showing you how I produce vocals, how I recorded, produced, mixed the vocals, which is crazy because this song has so many vocals. Everything I highlighted here are all just vocal tracks. I'm going to be showing you how I did drums, bass. There's some strings that play throughout the song, and of course guitars, which is the most important part of pop, punk, rock. First, let me show you real quick what my version sounds like. I'm just gonna play a little 8-second clip of it. So here's what my version sounds like. And just so you know, for if you're a beginner at producing, you don't need fancy equipment to get these results. Yeah, fancy equipment helps a lot, but in my years of producing, I've noticed that it's more about the techniques that you use, and yeah, just having fun. So first, what I'm gonna do is right here. This song has an instrumental intro, which is composed of strings. I'm gonna skip that for now because let's get to the good stuff first. Let me show you the vocals in the verse, and then we'll go back to the intro, and then we'll go to the chorus. I know it sounds a little bit funky, but vocals are a lot more fun than strings. So let me first show you my vocals in the intro. I should say in the verse.
I'm gonna make it bend and break. Say a prayer, but let the good
I'm gonna solo them.
roll. In case God doesn't show. Let the good times roll. And I want these words to make things right.
So first of all, I highly recommend listening to this on headphones so that you can hear all the nuances. You can get that stereo separation because there are some sounds that are going to be panned left and right. If you have a fancy phone, that's fine. You know, if you want to watch it on a phone or a TV or whatever. But yeah, I recommend headphones. So first, let's get into my vocal chain. So if you've seen some of my previous breakdowns of my own projects, this will look a little bit familiar. So these are basically the main lead vocals that drive the verse. I do double my vocals. What that means is that I record almost everything twice. Just a quick call out right here on my chain, right here on my vocal chain on the left. You'll see that it says "In the End." That's because when I recorded this, I was also working on a cover of "In the End" by Linkin Park, and I kind of made a preset out of it, which is not at all what I used. So yeah, just in case you're wondering. So let me just show you what the lead verse vocal sounds like.
I'm gonna make it bend and break. Say a prayer, but let the good times roll. In case.
Okay, so what I'm running this through is Waves Tune, which is a pitch correction plugin. You can just use the plugin that comes with Logic, which is you just go to pitch and pitch correction right here. It works just as well. Waves is just a fancier plugin. It doesn't come with Logic. You buy it from Waves, but it's pretty awesome. I'm pretty good at singing this song, but I'm not perfect, and of course, pretty much every singer except for Billie Eilish and some other ones use pitch correction, so there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. A de-esser that takes away the S sibilant sounds of my voice. Noise gate, it keeps background noise from pushing through during the quiet parts. I'm running this through a CLA 2A compressor. You can use the same the stock compressor that comes with Logic. You don't need these fancy compressors, but I absolutely love this compressor. It's so easy to use, and you get such a nice sound from it. Channel EQ, I cut out a lot of my lows.
I'm gonna make it bend.
See right here, I have I'm singing like, I'm gonna make it bend and break. So I cut out a lot of the low frequencies.
I'm gonna make it bend and break.
That's with all of them.
Say a prayer, but let the good times roll.
Channel EQ.
In case God doesn't.
So I do cut out a little bit of the high end as well to contour my vocal and make it fit in better with the rest of the mix. So I got this high cut, low cut, and I'm boosting up the mids a little bit. And of course a limiter so that I don't go crazy. let me just play you these 3 vocals, and then I'll show you where I'm routing them to, because I'm routing them to 2 buses. So
say a prayer, but let the good
here's my double.
roll. In case God doesn't show. Say a prayer, but let the good times roll. In case God doesn't show.
So my double vocal chain is pretty much the same. The only differences you'll see is if you look over here on the left, as far as plugins, my lead vocal is going to bus number 1, which is going through a drummer by Softtube. This, I just don't know how to explain this plugin. I always explain it in a different way in all of my videos, but it's a great plugin. Right here, I'm using it to add air. It's a vocal enhancer, so it's kind of like an EQ / compressor with a few knobs, and it adds air, which is like a little bit of a high-end boost. And then my, what do you call these, the doubles, I'm sending them to bus number 2, which I'm running through a low cut, so no murky frequencies get in there. And let me just play you these ones as well right here, these vocals.
And I want these words to make.
So that's basically what I do with my vocals.
Make things right, but it's the wrongs that make the words come to life.
And of course, I did do a few
Who does he
takes.
think he is? If that's the worst you've got, but put your fingers back to the keys.
Next, let me show you a really cool trick. Whenever you do reverbs, well, whenever I do reverbs, what I do is on my vocal tracks, whatever they may be, what I've been doing recently is I've been bussing them out to its own dedicated bus that has a reverb. So right here, I'm doing bus number 3. So if you look right here, for example, this lead vocal, the main one.
And I want these words to make.
You hear that
things
reverb?
right,
Now here's without the reverb.
but it's the wrongs that make the words come to life. And who does he think he is?
I'm using an Abbey Road Plates reverb, which I bought from Waves. I just been buying a shitload of plugins from Waves over the holiday sales or whatever. And this is a great reverb, but keep in mind, Logic, in case you're beginning, you don't need these fancy plugins, I promise. Logic has so many reverb plugins. Well, 4 of them, but still, they're great. For example, Chromaverb is one of my favorites. So if you're a beginner, this is a great reverb that you get a lot of options right here and super simple to use.
And I want these words to make things right, but it's the wrongs that make the words come.
So yeah, you can make your own. Ooh, that was nice actually. You can make your own reverb sound, so you don't need to buy all these crazy plugins. So if you see a third-party plugin that I used on this production, keep in mind Logic Pro has an equivalent that comes with it already included. So now that we went over those vocals, let me quickly go back to the intro and show you those strings. These strings have a movie-like quality. And let me show you how I got that sound. So first I had to figure these out by ear. I couldn't find any sheet music for them, or I didn't look around. I don't know. I started this project like back in 2016 and I kind of forgot about it and pulled it out of an old hard drive and just re-recorded vocals on it or whatever. But yeah, so how to get that sound. So first, all these string samples are built into Logic. This is a string ensemble staccato. And I'm just running it through a channel EQ to boost the highs and the lows. And a CLA to a compressor. Again, you can use Logic's own compressor. Here's what the MIDI for that looks like. I actually play this on a keyboard. And I quantized it, I think a little bit. Yeah, I quantized it, but not too much. See how it's not falling perfectly on the line right here. So that gives it more of a human performance. Makes it not sound too perfect. And then we got these horns and bells. All those sounds are built into Logic, into Logic's sampler. Or you can go here to the library. And yeah, this is where I got all those sounds. So Legacy, Logic, Orchestral, Brass, for the horns, for the French horns. For these main event bells, where did I get these from? I think I got these from Splice. It's a sample. Yeah, I think I got these from Splice. Splice is a website that you can subscribe to and get samples using credits. So that's the only sample, the only third third-party sample that I used. Other than that, because I couldn't find any bells here. Does this Logic even have bells? Yeah, I guess they do. Whatever, I used a sample. Anyways, so then there's this cool violin right here during this part. The trill violin. Listen.
To life, and who does he think he is? If that's the worst you got.
Yeah, it's also built into Logic. So yeah, that's pretty much it about as far as strings go. I don't want to bore you too much with it, though. I am wondering, what the hell is this right here? It looks like automation, and I know I did that, but I cannot for the life of me remember what that was for. Let's see. Oh, okay. Midi volume. Okay. So instead of automating volume, as far as volume swells, like right here on the track itself, I did it on the region. And I think that's the first time I ever do that. That was pretty cool. Okay. So, oh, let me show you these real quick. This pizzicato section. I like that. And right here, I did use Logic's compressor right here. So these are my settings right here that I used in case you want to copy those. All right, so let's get into some instruments in the verses. So first, drums. And I apologize if there are any audio glitches during this. I'll tell you why in a bit, but check it out, drums. So I learned how to play the song on the drums, and I played it on my electric drum set, which you can see is set up right here. It's an Elise's what the hell is this? DM7X. I always want to say A7X, like Avenged Sevenfold, but DM7X is the model of that electric drum set. It records MIDI, so whenever I plug it into Logic, I record MIDI. What I did in this session is I split the drums and the cymbals separately. So, and you'll see that it says Secret V drums. That's because whenever I recorded this back in like 2016, I did a cover for Secret Valentine. So I kind of use the same settings. But of course, excuse me. Of course, once I opened this file last month or whenever the hell I did this, I did change up the settings by quite a bit. So right here, we got MIDI. So we got cymbals first. So those cymbals are going to this drum kit right here, which is a default drum kit that comes with Drum Kit Designer by, well, that comes with Logic. So it's not a third-party plugin. You have it if you have Logic, and it's great. Lately, I've been using third-party sounds like samples for my newer productions, but this drum set was great. Ignore this track right here, by the way, Sugar Cymbals. That's for another song that's over here on the same project. But, okay, so as far as cymbals, the way I'm treating them, they're on their own MIDI track with that Drum Kit Designer. And I'm just running channel EQ to cut out the low frequency so that when the sample, you know, when the crash cymbal sounds like psss, so that it doesn't muddy up the mix. As far as, I think I may have used let me see, snare main. Okay, yeah, okay. I used a Travis Barker drum sample that I also got from Splice. And I dragged it in right here to Ultra Beat. And I believe I may have used this kick too. Yeah, Travis Barker kick. However, you'll see right here that my Ultra Beat, I used, instead of just opening up a Ultra Beat, I used Ultra Beat, not stereo, but multi-output. What this allowed me to do is send, let's say, snare, send it to subgroup number 3, the kick to subgroup number 2. And what this does is in your mixer, well, instead of using this mixer, I'll show you right here because I created tracks for these. So just so that I could show you, I'm actually routing the Ultra Beat, kick, drums, all of that, snare, whatever, into these individual tracks, and then I can treat them individually. So for example, right here, I got the kick, running it through a channel EQ to boost the lows, take off the highs, and a smack attack. Here's what it sounds like without. With. A smack attack essentially contours your what do you call them, your transients on your drum tracks, so you can shape them to be pretty much whatever you want. Snare, here's what my snare sounds like. Kick a snare. And same thing, the snare, I'm running it through a channel EQ, boosting the lows to make it meatier, like meat, have it more meat. That sounds weird. And the highs, of course, so that I can punch through the mix. Here's what it sounds like without, just dry. And of course, I'm also running a smack attack. On their own, the snare sounds a little bit fake, but once you put it all together, just in case you're curious to see what the MIDI looks like. And that's how I did drums. If you notice right here, my drums are being routed to bus number 20. Bus number 20, you'll see it right here on the right. This is my drum output. Despite treating each of the tracks on their own, the drum tracks, I'm still running all of them. So everything is running through this compressor. It's one of Logic's stock compressors, by the way. And at the end, through an adaptive limiter, so that the drums don't peak. See right here? They're staying at 0. And of course, I'm running these through bus number 5, which is a space designer. So this is a... there's actually nothing there. All right, forget that. I'm running these through the bus, which is bus number 20. And bus number 20, I'm busing it out to bus number 3, which again is my Abbey Road... what do you call it? Reverb. Sorry, I had a little brain fart. So let's find that Abbey Road reverb. Let's see, bus number 3. I think I'm routing my vocals there too. Yeah, so if I just play that reverb, here's what's being routed to it. You hear the drums and the reverb right there? They're very quiet. So if you have headphones, you're gonna notice. Watch, I'm gonna play the track because everything is being routed to that one reverb. I wanted to be a little bit more conservative on my amount of tracks and buses on this production. So here's what everything sounds like without the reverb. All these words to make things right, but it's the wrongs that make the words come to life. Now with. And who does he think he ends up? That's the worst. Do you notice when I stopped the song, it took a little bit to die off? So that's what reverb does. It gives it kind of like a live sound. And yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Let's jump into some guitar tracks real quick, and then we'll go into the vocals in the chorus. So guitar tracks, here we go. So I'm using Stl Tones. No, I'm not apparently. Okay, Stl Tones. I'm using Stl Tones for the heavy guitars. For the not so heavy guitars, I used the standard Logic Pro X guitar suite. Guitar plugins. I didn't re-record these, so these are all recordings from 2016. I was too lazy to re-record those, but they were good recordings. So here's how I treated them. So that's what the guitars sound like. So let me play this guitar by itself so you can see what settings I used. I actually used Pod Farm, so I apologize. I thought I used the built-in settings. So Pod Farm 2 is an old plugin from like over 10 years ago. When I was extremely broke and I couldn't afford to buy plugins and fancy stuff, I kind of sort of pirated this one off the internet, but it's got cool sound. So without this, it sounds like this. That's the raw recording. This was a good plugin, but there's a lot more better plugins now. I think even the Logic, no, I'd say this one's better than the Logic one. I ran all of that through an EQ to get rid of some of those low frequencies because I didn't need them for that part. Without EQ. With. And of course a compressor to give it more volume. and a noise gate at the beginning so that you don't get weird sounds. Not that there was any. And then for the guitar on the left, it's a Logic Pro X amp and a pedal board. The pedal board goes first. So the signal is being routed through a drive pedal. Here's without, with, and then to this amp, without, with. And a stereo spreader? Why in the fuck would I do a stereo spreader if I have it to the left? Whatever. I made questionable decisions back in the day. Well, anyways, all these guitars are being routed to bus number 19, which is this. To channel EQ, cutting out the lows. And that's it. All right, that was boring. Let's go to our heavy guitars. These two right here. Ready? So these ones, I'll go over them really quick. So my favorite guitar plugin is Stl Tones. Have you seen my previous breakdown videos? What I'm about to say in the next 12 seconds is going to sound extremely familiar, but here we go. I started out, so Stl Tones is a guitar plugin that this guitar plugin just is so awesome. It just feels like I'm playing like through an actual amp, and it's based on presets. So I started off with the Lee Malia from Bring Me the Horizon preset. I guess this preset number 4. There's hundreds and hundreds of presets on this plugin. Of course, you gotta buy them. I bought a few, and yeah, then I customized it, and yeah, that's how I got that sound. I'm running them through a channel EQ, just boosting this around 274 hertz. Directional mix to the left for this one, and directional mix to the right. Both of these guitars are playing the exact same thing, and they are being routed to bus number 10, which is a reverb. So they're being routed to their own little reverb, separate from the previous Abbey Road reverb, and that's it. That's how I got that big guitar sound. And you can tell this was not recorded well because look at the difference between those waves. On the chorus, the waveforms are big, and on the verses, they're tiny. So I must have used weird settings, but again, I recorded this in 2016. I just treated this with brand new plugins, but it's the same recording that I did back then. So this is cool. It still sounds cool. Been looking forward to the future, but my eyesight is going bad, and this crystal ball. There's 4 guitars here. All right, let's go back to the chorus and let me show you how I did those vocals. And I know I said we were gonna go into vocals like 1 minute, in 1 minute. About 5 minutes ago. So let's get into the chorus. So here's what the vocals, you already heard the chorus a few times, so here's what the vocals by themselves sound like. One night and one more time, thanks for the memories, even though they weren't so great. He tastes like you, only sweeter. Okay, so same thing. I do double my vocals, meaning that I recorded twice. So here's the lead. One night and one more time, thanks for the memories, even though they weren't so great. He tastes like you, only sweeter. Here's what it sounds like without the double. One night and one more time, thanks for the memories, even though they weren't so great. He tastes like you, only sweeter. The reason why you hear pops is because I did a little bit. Did I use flex pitch? I mean, I know it's here, but I don't think I did. What I did do is a lot of comps right here. And for some reason, when you comp a lot, I don't know why. Like sometimes it introduces noise artifacts. Since this is a cover, I didn't want to over polish it. So I just, you know, it is what it is. I definitely went crazy with the waves tune. I mean, not that I needed it. Without tuning, this is what it sounds like. One night and one more time. Thanks for the memories, even though they weren't so great. You can notice that a few of the notes are a little bit flat, but you know, I did add obviously waves tune, but I think I went too crazy with I went too crazy with it. The yellow that you see right here is the original performance as far as pitch. You know, you can mess around with this and change the pitch of your, you know, correct the pitch of the song. You just select what key it's in. It's in A sharp, B flat for me. A sharp and B flat are the same exact shit, right? Yeah. Okay. The yellow is my performance, and the green is how it's how Wavestune is correcting that performance. So you can tell that I was, for the most part, pretty spot on. For example, right here on this little note right here, I was sharp, so I was singing an E instead of an E flat, so Wavestune corrected it. This one right here is extremely corrected. You see the note transition, speed. So yeah, if I could do this again, I would definitely go easy on the pitch correction. But since it's a lot of vocals, you can't really yeah, you can tell. As far as my vocal chain, I'm running Wavestune, de-esser2, noise gate, this CLA2A compressor. So it's pretty much the same thing as I did on my verse vocals. And of course, the main vocal is being routed to bus number 1, which is my lead vocal out. Bus number 2 is for my backing tracks. So yeah, and then we got these harmonies. One night and one more time. They're being panned left and right, the harmonies. Even though they weren't so great, he tastes like you, only sweeter. So this, yeah, there weren't a lot of takes that I did, so it's a pretty straightforward harmony. And then there's this other harmony that only comes in during the word sweeter. Sweeter. That one's really high, but I have a high register, so it wasn't too bad when you combine all three of those. So we got the sweeter, sweeter, and then the sweeter, the sweeter, and then the melody, sweeter. And yep, that is how I got vocals for the second chorus. Now let's go into verse number 2. Actually, I haven't shown you guys my bass yet. I'll go over that real quick. So let me play drums and bass. The bass sounds amazing thanks to Stl Tones. Okay, so there's a lot to getting this bass sound, and I'll go over it really quick. So I'm gonna just show you what the bass sounds straight through. So just the dry signal. Not very impressive. Then you add Stl Tone Hub, channel EQ, and the compressor. Here we go. So Stl Tone Hub, again, it's preset based, but when you buy the plugin, it comes with the core pack, which is the presets that it comes with, and it only comes with 4 bass sounds. I did buy a bass expansion, which I don't know. I don't think I have it installed. What the hell? Yeah, it uninstalls on its own all the time. I hate it. Stl Tone Hub, if you're watching this, my freaking bass presets uninstall on their own. I'll give you guys a call. Anyways, this is preset number 4 that already comes with the core pack. I am running an overdrive pedal on it, so without the overdrive, it sounds like this. Here's the overdrive. I do like my bass distorted, just like my guitars. And then compressor, I use this compressor right here. It adds so much grit, not grit, sorry, so much power. Look, here's what it sounds like without. And that's it. That's how I got the bass. Check this part out. What's cool about that part is that the bass is actually playing the high notes and the guitar is playing lower notes in the bass. I hope you were listening on headphones because that sounds scary. Let me play that for you again and show you what that looks like on the MIDI. Oof. That's scary. That's some horror movie shit. All right, so then we're back to another chorus. Which, ooh. That was a weird glitch. All right, so check this out. Oh, I forgot to show you guys this, and I am so sorry that I'm all over the place. Check this out. Whoa, that was weird. All right, let's hope that glitch stays out of here. Okay, check out these vocals.
It's always cloudy except when you look into the past. One night stand. One night stand.
So this song was so much fun because it has a lot of harmonies, and although every part of the vocals it's so much fun to sing. So we got this.
Been looking forward to the future.
The lead, but then we got this low octave of it.
Been looking forward to the future.
And yeah, I did use plenty of tuning on the lows, on the backing vocals because they're way buried in the background. But we want them to be doubles, right? So we want them to match the pitch of the lead vocal, of course, an octave lower.
Been looking forward to the future.
And then we got these crazy harmonies right here. They're cute. Did I say cute? I meant cool. And these are being panned left and right with a lot of reverb.
Except for look into the past. One night stand.
That part was hard to figure out because in the original recording, you just hear all the vocals and it's like one night. I couldn't. It was hard to figure out that one night stand. But it was a lot of fun to do. There's some volume automation right here because we need these parts to stand out more. So right here we got the volume is not as high because that's a texture in an essence in a sense. Right here it's a callback, so they're louder. Look into the past. And if you notice, it has kind of like a radio effect. How do you get this? You get this by taking off the lows. So you're gonna need, if you're wearing headphones, you're gonna need your left headphone right here. So here's what it sounds like without the EQ. And then with the EQ. That gives it that radio effect by cutting out a lot of the low frequencies. Alright, so here's the let's go into the bridge. The bridge is so much fun. It's down, it still has very I would call them sexy vocals. Not mine, but the originals, you know. Maybe mine a little bit too. I mean, whatever. Anyways, I'm just kidding. I'm really proud of this performance. So first, let's go over the instrumentals this time. So during this part, we hear this thing, which I'm not even sure what the hell it is. Let me see. European folk kit. Okay, so now it's starting to come back to me. So it's just I did a MIDI performance of this part right here. So this European folk kit comes with Logic. It's one of the drum presets, and I use this. I don't know what this sound. What is this? What sound is this? I don't know, but it was as close to the original sound as I could get. And you gotta work smarter, not harder. So if you look right here at my arrange window, I only did this much worth of it, and then I looped it. Now the acoustic guitar that you hear right here, honestly, I didn't want to re-record it. It's one of my original recordings from 2016. It wasn't even an acoustic guitar, I think. Was it an acoustic guitar? Nope, it's an electric guitar. But I guess I was trying to pass it off as an acoustic. This is an electric guitar, so I'm running through Pod Farm, which is cool because Pod Farm actually has this Line 6 Pizzicato Acoustic 2 setting that essentially turns your electric guitar into an acoustic. So listen to this. The one on the right channel. That's an electric guitar. But in the recording, sounds acoustic. So I could have gotten a recording that was 20 times better than that with my current setup, you know, with the mic that I'm using to record my vocals right now, my voice, and one of my newer acoustics that apparently I didn't have. Did I have an acoustic back then? I think I did. I don't know. But anyways, I just left it because I was whatever. I don't know why. But yeah, the one on the left is I'm running it through a Maserati from Waves. Just a compressor, I guess. This plugin sucks. Well, no, it doesn't suck. It's just, I guess I haven't figured out how to use it, and I applied it to the dumbest recording ever. But check this part out. Again, I used Pod Farm for this. So that setting, to get that kind of like lead tone, I actually added the digital delay. Of course, I added it before the amp. Let me see what it sounds like if you add it after the amp. Just shoot. There's no undo on this. Okay, there we go. Yep, so that's pretty much how I got that sound. All right, let's get over to drums really quick, and then we'll go to vocals. So this actually sounds pretty realistic. There's a cowbell somewhere in there. Oh, yeah. Cowbell. Yeah, so there's a cowbell that comes in right there. It's just a retro rock kit. Yeah, a retro rock kit. I really like the cowbell that it had. And yeah, that's it. All right, let's check out some vocals. It's just a vocal. So it's the same settings that I used for the reverb, except I increased. Exponentially increase the amount of reverb as the bridge goes on. So here's what that sounds like. I only think in the form of crunching numbers in hotel rooms, collecting page 6 lovers. Get me out of my mind. Here's without the double. Get you out of those clothes. I'm a liner away from getting you into the mood. Do you notice how I did the I increased the reverb right here using automation? So you can automate pretty much anything. So as far as what I automated was the send. Send is this right here. So this little knob right here where my mouse is, this tells the tells Logic how much of this signal right here, which is my vocal signal, to send to bus number 3, and bus number 3 has the reverb. So if I was to tell it right here to send, let's say, nothing, right? So nothing, here's what it sounds like. I only think now check out what happens when I increase it. Form of crunching numbers in hotel rooms, collecting page 6 love. And automation, just in case you don't know if you're a beginner, it allows you to do that live, you know, so I can even like increase like just the reverb on this part right here. I only think in the form of crunching numbers in hotel rooms. And of course I exaggerated it right there just so you could get a good idea of what that is. And then here comes my favorite part of all time, so of this song, and yeah, my favorite part to sing, yeah, pretty much of all time. Actually, I really do like this. There's an extra harmony right here. So these are the same vocals, well, not the same vocals, but they sing the same thing that they do in the regular chorus. And then these two harmonies, well, it's a one harmony, but it's I doubled it, once to the left and once to the right. Here's what that sounds like. For the memories, even though they weren't so great, he tastes like you, only sweeter. Now here's what those harmonies sound like on their own. One night, yeah, and one more time. Thanks
Thanks for the memories, thanks for the memories. See, he tastes like you, only sweeter. Oh, one night and one more time.
So if we go through each of them one by one, here's what they sound like right here on the intro, on the first part of this.
One night and one more time.
That's the main.
For the memories, even though they weren't so close. One night and one more time. Thanks for the
harmony number one.
Even though they weren't so great, he tastes like you, only sweet. One night and one
harmony
more
3.
time. Thanks for the memories, even though they weren't so great. He tastes like you, only sweeter.
So the sweeter, that's what that sounds like right with that harmony. That harmony right there. That one. And then, of course, the melody. And then all of them. The trick to combining a lot of vocals, to mixing all of these vocals and having them have their own place. First of all, I would say for the melodies, I have them right in the center, as you can see right here. Then the these harmonies right here, the low harmonies, they're panned all the way to the left and the right. Then we got this sweeter, just the sweeter harmonies right here, slightly to well, I guess medium left, medium right. And then those new harmonies that are introduced in the final chorus are slightly left and slightly right. So everything, it has their own place in the spectrum. Oh my gosh, you couldn't even see me right there. Yeah, so everything is, you know, like main vocals, harmony, more harmonies, more harmonies. I'm talking about the channels in your, you know, your headphones, so that you don't, you know, so that there's enough room for it to breathe. It's kind of like a puzzle. It's kind of cool. Also, I apologize if I'm stumbling through my words. It's 3 in the morning. It's been a long day, but I hope you're learning something right here. So, and if not, then just tell me you suck in the comments. Thank you. Okay. There's one more vocal here.
Thanks for the memories, thanks for the memories. See, he tastes like you, only sweeter. One more night, one more time. Thanks for the memories, even though they weren't so great.
There's this vocal.
He tastes like you, only sweeter.
So there's this new vocal right here that is introduced that kind of takes over the song, and it's really effective because instead of just repeating the final chorus just with an added harmony, what Fall Out Boy did right here is I call it the improv final chorus. Excuse me. Oh, by the way, have you guys seen my cat? He's right there. Look. Right there. There's a kitty. There's a kitty right there. He's so cool. Anyways, all right, back to business. So the reason why I call it improv final chorus right here on the track is because I feel like that's what they did. They're just like, okay, go sing the final chorus and kind of like throw some improvisations and ad-libs. Not ad-libs, but like, you know, his own timing. And it took me only 4 tries to get this. So I was really proud of this. Here's what the regular lead vocal sounds like. And then that new vocal that comes in.
Tastes like you, only sweeter.
Do you notice the timing is different?
One more night, one more time. Thanks for the memories, even though they weren't so great. He tastes like you, only sweeter.
That's high.
One more night, one more time. Thanks for the memories, for the memories. He tastes like you, only sweeter.
I got a little bit out of tune or key on this one, but you can't really notice it in the final song. But yeah, right here.
He tastes like you, only sweeter.
Damn. Okay, I remember. So this part, if you look at the recording right here, so your goal whenever you're recording is to not peak like I'm doing. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sorry. I had my my screen on me instead of right here. But if you notice,
tastes like you, only sweeter.
The dynamics are crazy because you get this, you have this low vocal.
Thanks for the memory.
For the memories.
For the
and then this so yeah, I had no choice but to peak right here, which I'm okay with because there's no distortion anyway. And then all of these together at the end. I extended the last note on all of these. By extended, I mean like I recorded, like usually it ends like this. It ends right there. The original Fall Out Boy's version, obviously the original. I added a little bit more of a tail to kind of emphasize that harmony, that kind of like almost like chord, what do you call those, like the barbershop quartets or whatever. So I'm a huge fan of harmonies. Lately, over the past year, I've been learning a lot about how to how to take all these vocals, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 vocals, and mix them so that each of them has their own spot in the mix. So that's been a lot of fun. So I'll probably do a video today. I'll probably upload this December 30th. In January, I'll probably do some specialized tutorials so I can show you guys more of how I do that. This was more of like a breakdown kind of thing, so you can see what's up. Let me just look real quick if I missed anything. Oh yeah, I did actually. There's a lot more. So besides all of that, you know, we got our guitars, our vocal buses, all of that. All of this, every sound in this song is being routed to the bus, the output. So, which is this right here. The output is exactly what it sounds like. Every piece of sound is being routed through this. Let's say if I was to not have any plugins, here's what the mix would sound like. It's like you, only sweeter. It's just super loud. Everything's just a mess. Right here, if you looked, it was peaking by 5.7 decibels. So I apologize if that was a bit loud. So in the bus and the output, my goal is to give it the sound. Of course, I still mastered this, and I'll show you how I mastered it in a bit. But this is essentially mastering, kind of like a pre-master. So I'm routing everything through a linear EQ. It may not seem like much, and if you because okay, so there's a thing called subtractive EQing, right? So normally, let's move this back up right here. So let's say for my goal right here was to add more bass, you know, make it nice and punchy, to cut out a lot of those annoying low rumbly frequencies that we don't even hear, but do take space in your mix and can fuck it up. By the way, I'm gonna start cussing in these, so yeah. And add a little bit of mids to give it a little bit more of more body. However, if you do this on the output, you're adding volume. So besides everything already being nice and, you know, loud, like all these sounds fighting for loudness, I guess, the way to EQ, the way I recommend EQing is subtractive. So okay, so like you EQ right here, right, and then you lower this volume. That's the way I do it. Or you can remove the frequencies that you don't want, which is subtractive EQing. So right here, if let's say this was flat, so where's the recall default? Okay, let's say it was like that, and I wanted to add more bass. Well, I would just subtract what I wanted to remove, right? So I would remove a little bit of highs and a little bit of these like low mids, and of course do a cut right there. Essentially, instead of adding more bass, I subtractive treble, you know, what I don't want. But I like the way I do that. That's essentially subtractive EQing, but I like the way I do it better. You know, like I EQ how I want it, and then I lower this volume. Figuring out by how much to lower it by, that's going to take a little bit of trial and error, but you'll get there. Then I'm running all this through a multipressor, which is a compressor that compresses individual frequencies. So it cuts the frequency spectrum into 4 right here. So here's the range right here. So here's the lows that end at 76 hertz, the low mids at 490, the high mids at 4700, etc. And then the highs end at 220K. And then yeah, so this essentially allows you to EQ each part of the spectrum. So here's what just the lows sound like in the song. Let's see. Nothing's playing. Why is nothing playing, dog? Oh, that's why. That's just the lows. So I recommend headphones. And you know what? Like this kind of sounds like if you're at a rock show and you're actually like out buying concessions or like drinks or whatever, and this is what it sounds like through the walls. Low mids. high mids, and highs. My goal with the multipressor is to remove any annoying frequencies that I do not want in the mix. Besides the subtractive EQing, here's where I can compress what I don't want. Hold on, the screen just got a little bit darker because it's 3 in the morning, and that enables night shift. Let me turn that off. Perfect. Okay, and last but not even last. Okay, then I'm running a limiter, which is weird that I'm running a limiter here. Why the hell did I do that? No, fuck this shit. You don't need it here. Adaptive limiter is what you need. So I'm not boosting anything. I usually do boost. You want, it sucks, but feel free to Google the loudness wars. Your song is, and look at me, I'm doing quotations. Your song's supposed to be as loud as possible, obviously without peaking, to be radio friendly, quotation marks. You can do that with this plugin. You know, you set the gain and it'll make it as loud as you want it. But if you don't do it right, it can introduce, you know, distortion and artifacts and all that. So I leave this at 0 right now because then I'm gonna master this. So here's as far as I know, I haven't seen anybody else master this way. So now that we got our mix, right? It's not a bad mix, but let me show you how to get it to the next step. So what I usually do, and here's what I've never seen anybody do this, and I don't know how I learned to do this, but I bounce my stems. So I'll solo all my guitar tracks. By doing it here, I get to keep all the reverbs that I'm bussing to. And I'll export that as a wave file. I do the same with all my vocals, and then my bass, my drums, and then all my synthesizers, which in this case, it would include just the strings. Once I have all those stems, I believe that would be 6 stems, then I master those stems. So let me show you this, and this might blow your mind. Don't let this discourage you because you don't have to master like this. The more traditional way is just exporting this mix as a single wave file, and then you master that. I do it as 6 wave files right here. So I got my vocals right here.
Say a prayer, but let the good time. He is, that's the worst
guitars,
you got, but
bass.
put your fingers back to the keys. One night and one more time. Thanks for the memory.
Do you notice how now it sounds a lot more punchy? And when I stop it, there's no reverb decay because it's already baked into the file. So let me show you really quick what I do to master. So first, my vocals, I'm running them through another de-esser. Why? That's a good question. I'm running this Renaissance Vox from Waves to kind of even out the vocals because there are a lot of dynamics. If you look right here, these are very big vocals right here, but then right here during this part, they get a little bit quieter.
In the form of crunching numbers.
So the RVox helps me kind of lower the dynamics a bit. And then I take away any rumbling. Do you see how in certain spots there are low frequencies that are trying to sneak their way in there? So I cut those out. And I use this multimeter so it can show me, it's just the frequency meter, but it can show me if there are frequencies that I am not hearing. I mean, I kind of do have a little bit of hearing loss, I think, from playing drums a lot. So this helps me visualize frequencies that I may not be able to catch right away. The guitars in the original, song, they are very punchy. I cut out all this, everything below 76 hertz. I'm sorry, because that spectrum to me, it belongs to the bass, not the guitars. However, I did lower this 180 hertz to give it more of a punchy sound, and that's it. The bass, ooh, sounds nice. So. Subtractive EQ. I took away the stuff under 318 hertz because I read an article somewhere that's where a lot of muddiness lies, and bass can be, if you don't EQ it correctly, it can be muddy. And last but not least, the compressor right here. This compressor is very aggressive. Without, with. And there's a few level automations. Like for example, right there, I boosted that to give more emphasis to that little riff. Okay, and then synths, of course, not a lot there. Just channel EQ to add lows right here, but to not get in the way of the bass frequencies. And the drums, which are, in my opinion, my biggest challenge to mix. But these, this waveform looks nice. So channel EQ to add lows. And this multipressor also adds more lows. And the final secret of my masters, here's another channel EQ to kind of add a little bit of mids right here to the overall mix. But then one of my favorite plugins makes a comeback. This is the drummer. I use the clarity setting, but then whenever you enable that, it enables air, so I turn that off. Here's what it sounds like without the drummer. With. Without. It really does add quite a bit of clarity, so it boosts the highs. Here's where I may have fucked up a little tiny bit. So remember how I said the adaptive limiter is to make your mix as loud as possible without clipping or, well, yeah, without introducing artifacts. So I boosted by 5.7 decibels. What that does is it boosts the quiet parts. So on the left you'll see input, on the right output. The output is not. The output is not supposed to go over 0 decibels, otherwise your mix is clipping. Notice how the input, there's not a lot of stuff going on yet. Now here we go. We start adding more instruments. It's showing yellow now, but the output is still at 0. So far we're good. And you know what? I take that back. I did not fuck up. It was just, I guess I messed up the volume right now while I'm showing you guys. But nope, we got a master. If I was to go higher on that gain, it would start introducing noise artifacts and things like that. So I won't show you that just to protect your ears. But that is how I mixed, well, how I recorded, how I produced, how I mixed, and how I mastered Thanks for the Memories by Fall Out Boy. Well, my cover of Thanks for the Memories by Fall Out Boy. In my opinion, I go back and I listen to the original. And of course, they had professional mixing and masters. Personally, I like my mix better, which is very arrogant to say on my part. But me, I like to hear everything more clearly, you know, to really hear every instrument. Their mix is a little bit more muddy. If you go back and listen, feel free to compare my version to them. Obviously, my performance is nowhere near Patrick Stump's vocals. No freaking way can I ever even get close to his performance. But I'm not talking about performance. I'm talking about purely about the mix of the songs. I prefer mine, which is a little bit more clear. But other than that, my goal, I think I reached it. I wanted to get as close to the original sound as possible. And it is one of my favorite songs of all time. So yeah, that's it. And with that, guys, if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. I always answer for the most part. Unless you leave spam, then I won't answer you. And I'll probably, you know, just delete it and laugh at you. You guys, if you have any questions, leave them down below. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out with anything that I can. I know I rambled for a bit, so I do apologize for that, but I promise these videos are getting better. Once again, there's my cat right there, all over the executive producer, and yes, that's his name. You guys, I'm currently working, let me just before letting you guys go, since you guys made it this far, this is my new song, Going Nowhere. This is a video that I'm going to be releasing, well, by the time you see this, it might be out. Today is the 30th. I'm going to release this on the 31st. Here's what it looks like. This is an original song that I wrote, so it would mean the world to me if you guys go check it out. You can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music, and by the time you watch this, this video will be out. Very exciting. I filmed this in my room, so once again, you guys, how I told you guys, you don't need fancy equipment. This video, I did it in my bedroom because I was originally going to film another music video, but 2 out of 3 of my crew ended up getting COVID. I won't say names, but let's just say I am one of them. So I had to quarantine for a while. So I'm okay now. Honestly, COVID for me was nothing, which is I feel fortunate because for a lot of people it can mean literally life or death. So my best wishes go out to them. For me, it felt like just a normal flu. So I just quarantined right here, and I filmed this video right here in my room. While I actually used curtains, you know, from Walmart, just black curtains, a fog machine that's like $80, and then a couple of lights. These ones right here, actually. These are Falcon Eyes lights, which are not expensive. They're like 120, I think, a pop. I used 2 of them, and I just used this red color right here. So you do not need fancy stuff to make music. If you have GarageBand for free on your iMac, you can use that. If you have an iPhone or any other phone, you can film using that. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to encourage you guys to go make a lot of music this new year. My goal is to make a lot more music, a lot of more music, spend more time actually producing rather than doing post-production, such as doing album artwork and music videos, because that stuff is very time consuming. So please subscribe if you want to check out some of my originals. I would really appreciate that. Once again, my name is Manny from Lost in a Memory. My artist name is Lost in a Memory. That's how you can find me on streaming services. And once again, thank you so much for listening to me. I am now going to sleep because it's 3:12 in the morning and it's been a long day, but thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day, and please stay safe, everybody, and don't be stupid.